Welcome back to Tarot is in the Details, where we talk about the symbolism and imagery in each tarot card to gain a deeper understanding of it. Today, we're going to talk about the Sun, the card that is associated with the truth and illumination and clarity because there's a huge sun with a face on it. But apart from that, this card also simply talks about joy and happiness and optimism and just knowing that good times are lying ahead. Something really interesting about this card is how these sunflowers are technically not facing the sun. They're facing this child. So it really makes you wonder if this child is supposed to actually be like an embodiment of the sun, especially because his curly hair kind of look like the symbol for the sun. This horse specifically looks like the horses from the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Swords card, especially the Knight of Cups. And that card is about, being vulnerable and being honest about your feelings. And I think that is also a core theme about this card because the child also represents like our inner child and healing and, healing the inner child. And a lot of it happens through vulnerability. But apart from that, it's also about our knowledge and everything that we're going to learn and also everything we already know, because this feather on his head is supposed to represent like skills and achievements and all of that, but then it's also like a child, so it's about what we have inherently that we are going to grow into. There's also like this wall behind him which talks about the safety that we have in childhood, or that we should have, and also the emotional safety that you need to be vulnerable and honest. This red scarf type thing that's just flying in the air, it talks about the freedom that you had as a kid. You know, how you freely did whatever you wanted to do and you freely expressed yourself. And it kind of shows that free flowing energy that you need to be in order to be happy and in order to kind of just feel lighter. And the most interesting thing that I've noticed about this card is how the sun rays are like of two types. One of them are like these curvy lines, and the other are straight lines. And I think it's talking about the difference between truth and perception. Like the straight line is showing like the pure facts and logic, while the curvy lines are showing things that are a little bit more subjective and perceptive, but they're still technically the truth because there's this quote that says sometimes our perception is closer to the truth. So it's basically saying that the truth isn't just comprised of facts and logic and objective things, but it also includes subjectivity and perceptions, and that is equally as important.